Let's have some fun editing widgets. I had only 4 widgets before, but now I'm going to add one of each. Oops. Let's take away the ones that I have. I'm not particularly interested in having 2 of everything. So select the widgets that you want by clicking on the checkbox, click Save, and your widgets will be displayed. You notice that your page may or may not lengthen based upon what you have set in your previous Safari configuration. These widgets will pull data from your database based upon what your previous Safari setup was like, and it will display accordingly. So right off the bat, let's go into editing widgets. There is an edit link on each widget as long as we are in the edit mode. And when you click on the edit button, you'll be presented with a simple form that will allow you to edit that widget. After you've gotten finished editing your message, you can go ahead and save it, and in edit mode you will have an idea of what this widget will look like when it goes back to display mode. The links widget will offer you a form that will allow you to enter a series of URLs with titles along with a caption, and these will be presented in the widget. So let's go ahead and enter a link here so you can see how this works. It's quite easy. Since you do have to use the hypertext prefix on the URL, it's a good idea to just go ahead and copy the address from your browser and paste it in the URL text box here on this page. When you're done editing, go ahead and click Save. You'll see that those links will take you to the sites. So that's how to edit the links widget. The reading list widget will offer you 3 things. It'll offer you a drop-down that will allow you to select a reading list that you already have and display it in one of 2 ways. Either display it as a list vertically, or you can display it in what's called a carousel, in which the book jacket will be displayed for each item and displayed for about a second, and the carousel will then shift and show other books. You may have seen this already in some of the other videos. You can also determine how many books should be displayed from that reading list. Choose a number and click Save. I currently don't have a reading list, but we will go ahead and make one, and you will see how this works. So through the miracle of video, I have created myself a couple of quick reading lists so that we can see how this reading list editing goes. Let's scroll down first and have a look real quick at my reading list lists as the reading lists widget. You can see that I now have a Dostoevsky's best reading list and a Steinbeck's best reading list. So correspondingly, I can go up to my reading list widget and click the edit and select from the drop-down whichever reading list I want to display in that widget. Let's say we pick the Steinbeck list. We'll set it to carousel and leave it at 10. Click Save, and we have our carousel. And it's that easy. You decide at any time that the carousel is not what you want. Go on back, change it to a list, click Save, and now you have a list. I'm going to go on back to the carousel for now. So that's the reading list widget. Let's have a look at the recent reviews widget. And once again, the recent reviews widget will show you any review that has been published. and you can determine how many reviews you want to show. You get the same options, of course, without the book list in the, as we saw in the previous widget, because this is not a list of books. But when it displays, I'm going to choose 10 for my maximum number of items to be displayed from the list, and I'm going to I'll put it in carousel mode. And at this point, you'll notice that the carousel is not going anywhere because I only had one review, so it has nowhere to go. It just becomes a regular display, and it will show the book jacket for that particular item. If there were more than one review, then you would see the carousel traversing through book jackets as it's doing for this for the Steinbeck's reading list. The popular titles list is essentially the same as the others. Choose whether you want carousel or list, how many total items, and click Save. And if I had designated some popular titles, I would have a list much like this carousel. Or if I had chosen the list, I would have something like this new in library list. The reading lists widget, you simply determine the maximum number of items that you want to display in the widget. I only have 2 reading lists, so it's only going to show 2, but it could show more. Let's go over to the right side and look at the bulletins widget. I have 1 bulletin already, and let's go ahead and edit the number of bulletins that can be shown. I have that set to 5. The new in library widget, once again, same thing as the other widgets. Decide what you want, either carousel or list. We're going to leave it at list, and how many books you want to display from that list. So we're going to leave that displaying 5 items. And the calendar, of course, shows you a calendar that takes its configuration from your Surpass calendar, and will display a list of bulletins underneath the upcoming events heading if you decide to associate a particular bulletin with a date. So let's go into finish editing, and let's go up to the bulletins and add a bulletin. After you've entered the headline for your bulletin and the content, you can decide which locations you want this bulletin to be displayed on, and you can choose the option to show on the calendar. If you choose this option, then the bulletin will be associated with a date. You will get a live calendar control through which you can choose a day to associate with this particular bulletin. So the This is a Test bulletin is associated with January 14th, 2010. I can continue on and edit it from this point, or I can go ahead and save it. When you save it, it'll take you back to the library news page, and you can go back to your edit mode at the home page if you need to, and you'll see that the bulletin This is a Test is there, and that it is here underneath the upcoming events. That's a quick rundown of how to edit the widgets in the new Safari. As you see, it's not hard, and it actually has a kind of a fun element to it. That's basically it.